If I'm a crackhead and I did crack for 15 years and I told you don't do crack, does that mean that the advice that I gave you is bullshit because I did crack for 15 years?
Because you know crack is a blast.
But she has qualities and features that are regularly or generally identified with being fetishized by white people. I think she's more able to be consumed by them a lot easier than maybe like a Tim's or someone like that. I mean, my problem is with like just the brand of Kendrick Lamar is just that it's this super preachy, over pretentious like ideology that leads you nowhere. It's just selling you a bag, like a false bag of goods.
Family man, you are the picture of the upstanding black man. This man was ravaging the black community. You should not be shouting him out. Just let him get out of jail.
But like when you settle on 20 cases like that and you pay out, you're like a little guilty. Like you did something wrong.
You're more than a little guilty.
Like you did something wrong.
I like Fred. You're trying to put a name on a bullet, and it's really not even a bullet, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, Fred, this applies to you.
This podcast is sponsored by Graffiti Tax Services. For all your tax preparation needs, you can go to graffititax.com. We're going to put the link right here. It should be somewhere. And yeah, you can head to them for during tax season. And if you have any financial or tax preparation questions, head to Graffiti Tax Services. They're our new sponsor. Thank you to Graffiti Tax Preparation Services. That's it.
Got a lot of we got a lot of stuff to get to, man. But you a sneaky little dog, man. You sneaky little devil. But
I don't know what you're talking about.
First and foremost, personal best for us on TikTok. So shout out to us. You know, we're getting, you know, where we need to be. That's what you get. We're getting where we need to be. Big 700K and growing. So shout out to you for your performance in the clip. So you did a really great job. But it's just crazy, like when you see someone who, you know, starts to get a little bit of notoriety. Like it's just wild because we're around each other a lot. So we see like the little things that kind of are like the byproducts of just having like, you know, just moderate success in what we're doing. And you just see now where it's like stuff starts to come off like betrayal a little bit. Like
drama.
No, because we got to just think about it. You know, I go in and I'm doing the work to cut the clip up and I'm like, oh man, she got her shit off here. I made sure it was a single and then cut it up, give it to her. It goes out, you know, after days of it just sitting in her email, but it goes out and it blows up. And then the next day, she, you know, she's hyped. She's excited about, you know, the success. So she starts
like 3 days later.
She starts wanting to clip up stuff. I'm like, all right, you know, cool. You can help me out. I love that. That's why we're doing this together, so we can help each other out.
She's motivated. I was the one doing the clips from the beginning, and then I stopped, and then he took over, and then I just started doing them again.
It was been a team effort, but it's always been a team effort. But she comes there, and then she picks another clip out. Again, I'm doing what I got to do. I don't really have time to do any kind of overseeing of the clip and how she cuts this up. And I see the one that she puts out, and it's like, yo, you just really just cut the worst part of what I just said and then just put it out there for the masses. That's crazy. I think I'm supposed to trust you.
Listen, I was going through the clips. I'm like, boring. Like, and then I click on this one, and then I was like, this is going to get the people going. Like, this is salacious. This is provocative. I was like, this is the one. And there were no like expletives. Then I was like, oh, I can post this today. I can post this right now without bleeps, without editing or nothing. This is going up.
And so this clip is, again, one of our space updates that we did, and just completely out of context of what I was saying. Now it makes it look like I'm trying to throw every black woman on the
I feel like, though,
the Salem witch trial.
Is it out of context? Did you not mean what you said in the clip?
Yes, I did mean in regard, not the way that it came off though. You made it seem like it was just this abrupt, like, let me just talk about shitting on black women.
No, it wasn't abrupt, but that is your sentiment.
It was like, oh, entitlement. Oh, these black just entitled. Like, that's how you made me come off. Like, you made me look like Myron. Like that was really wild how you just cut that into like some fresh and fit type. Like I had some other sauce that you could have threw in there that would have softened the blow. You just took like the roughest part of it and just rammed it.
Yep, the AI said that score was like a 80 something. I said
the AI
cool. The AI ranked it and said this is gonna go up. I said okay, AI, I'm gonna post it just the way you clipped it. I didn't change nothing about it.
And then the hate just kept coming in, but just congrats to us. I'm excited to see our growth, man. We really turning up, especially on TikTok. So if you haven't already, make sure you go follow us on TikTok because
that's where all the action is for real.
There's a lot of drama in our comments section.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to it.
And then also people were dragging me along with you because I'm your wife.
Yeah, they did tell you should divorce me. That's what
he wasn't the only one being dragged. I knew we were going to be dragged. And then when I posted the other clip that's going viral right now, I thought I was going to be dragged, but everyone's agreeing with me.
No, I mean, there's some dragging going on in there.
There's a little bit, but it's not, it's like 10, 15%. It's not even enough for me to notice for real.
All right.
Lil Wayne ate that. He ate so much.
I didn't add this part too.
Are you tired of paying a lot of money for your vacation? My name is Shirley Proctor, and I am a partner with Tavodian, a traveling membership group. I can help you save time, money, help you and your loved ones see the world.
The whole like what she did to me, like she was just so like hungry and I don't want to say thirsty for another viral clip that you would just throw me to the fire like that. It's crazy. And you know that's what you was after. You was after another viral clip.
It was salacious. It was provocative. It got the people going. That's exactly what I did it for. And then if it went up, you would be like, ah. Like if it had the same result as the other one and we was on our way to hundreds of thousands of views on that one, he would have been ecstatic. This would have been a completely different story.
But hey, it's all about the outcome.
Yeah.
Oh, and then you know what's the funny thing about that Steven Spielberg line that he said? You know Steven Spielberg owns the movie rights to Martin Luther King's speeches.
Why?
Because he bought them.
Like, that's just something that you shouldn't like be able to buy.
He directed The Color Purple and he got Martin Luther King's.
Oh my God. Hey. Martin had a dream.
All right, you're now listening to Talk FNF TV. I'm your host, Absurd Rhetoric, and I'm with my lovely and amazing and gorgeous co-host, Miss Reality.
Hi.
And we're back to bring you some more conversation, some deep thought, and a little bit of bullshit too. So,
a lot of bullshit.
You know, just a little bit in there, sprinkled in.
I'm sprinkled.
Salt Bay. You the nugget I just pull off and throw it in there. All right, let's see. Let's start with this Kendrick interview. Did you check out the Kendrick interview?
I read it. It wasn't as salacious as I thought it was going to be. It was kind of more like introspective and spiritual and like talking about growth and so I was bored.
We're going to go over
I'm kidding.
You were bored. It was
No, it was boring, but like some of it was nice to hear from Kendrick because I am a Kendrick fan and he rarely speaks. So it was good seeing like where his state of mind was right now as a human being. But like right now, all we care about hearing you speak about is about this specific beef and like where your state of mind was around that. And that was one of the questions out of the whole interview. So.
And then he sat down with SZA. It was Harper Bazaar, right?
Yeah.
So let's make sure we take a note of that because that's gonna be later on in our conversation. Do you believe this was actually him speaking this back and forth with her, or this was like typed up, like just print? Because I've seen his interviews before, and he doesn't talk this fluently, like how it's written.
No, it was definitely like edited to make him sound better. It was probably more of a. If it was an actual interview, which I hope it is, because that's just something that we don't need to start doing. But
this is like an AI interview.
Yes, like I don't want us to start doing that. But Yeah, they was probably edited, and if it was an actual interview, it was probably more conversational. It was probably just him and SZA sitting down, and talking about stuff like brother or sister type shit, you know?
Because apparently the way they set it up is they had a journalist in the room with them, and then they had a conversation about, just art, where they're at, and I'm trying to find
that happens regularly, but it's usually like celebrities interviewing each other. That's a form of content that's not new. Like there's multiple platforms that do that, and I enjoy those types of interviews a lot. But this in magazine form, it seems a little bit awkward because you're just reading it.
Like, I picture him like
anybody could be asking him these questions.
I picture him like in a mesh shirt with like the crown of thorns and some like awkward big glasses on, just having this conversation with SZA, like sitting Indian style in the middle of the room.
I was definitely imagining them both sitting Indian style in like on the floor.
Like after he just did a set of push-ups. Like that's like what I picture this interview was doing. I want to get to some of the quotes. I'm trying to find them. So
one of my favorite quotes from the interview was, "I don't believe I'm an angry person, but I do believe in love and war, and I believe they both need to exist." And that was the only question that was really in regard to the Drake beef. And he was basically like, "Yeah, I had to get my shit off." Like basically, that's what I got from it. But yeah.
So no, he had more questions about it. He had like where he talked about the meaning of not like us. This is when his shit got nuts. Okay, so this is what this nigga said.
Oh yeah, I did see that too.
Not like us is the energy of who I am, the type of man I represent. This man has morals. He has values. He believes in something. He stands on something. He's not pandering. He's a man who can recognize his mistakes and is not afraid to share the mistakes, and can dig deep down into the fear-based ideologies and experiences to be able to express them without feeling like less of a man. If I'm thinking of not like us, I'm thinking of me and whoever identifies with it. Okay, so this is a bunch of bullshit, right? Like you definitely you feel that when you read that?
Yeah.
Like, he's just talking out his ass. If he even said those words.
I don't think that's the intention that he had behind it when he made the track initially at all. Like
this is the most pretentious bullshit I've read in a long time.
It was an extremely pretentious answer. This entire interview was kind of pretentious though.
I mean, for sure. Like that's his brand though. Like that's why I don't think we don't give enough credit in criticizing the package that is Kendrick Lamar. Because this is just like the dude who comes in who, like back in our day, who maybe listened to like Tribe Called Quest or Wu-Tang, shit like that, and be acting like, oh, he's a snob because we was listening to, Roscoe Dash and T.I. and shit. Like that's how that shit was.
That was me.
Those are the folks who used to come around like, bro, like that shit is so annoying.
That was me.
These dudes that kind of like
y'all niggas not listening to real music. You don't know what the fuck real music is. You don't know what real hip hop is.
All y'all was saying was real music was old music. Like that's all y'all were just saying.
It wasn't always old though. It was a bunch of new niggas underground though. It was always underground. Like it couldn't be mainstream. It was pretentious for a specific reason.
Like this, and that's what I think my problem is with like just the brand of Kendrick Lamar is just that it's this super preachy, over pretentious like ideology that leads you nowhere. It's just selling you a false bag of goods. And that's what I just get from it when I hear that. I'd rather you just give me the hedonism and I just have to decipher through the filth myself than you just try to like come off like you're leading me, but then you're not. Like you're leading me, but you're not responsible where I go.
I don't like that answer because I don't know. I feel like he could have gave a more relevant answer at like in accordance to like Drake and his position in the culture and how Kendrick feels about that, because I feel like that's what Not Like Us was about, was that like you're kind of like teeter-tottering between like, I don't know, you're in black culture, but you're not fully black. Like that's what he was trying to say, right?
Yeah, he was trying to say that you're not really for the culture.
Yeah, that's what it is. And you put the culture on as like a costume to gain financially and notoriety and monetarily, but this isn't like what you were raised in, and this isn't who you are, and you are not like us. Like, this is who we are for real. So I didn't like that answer because it just, I don't know. It felt like an afterthought. It didn't feel like the conception of the song. Like, I wanted an actual answer as to like what it, I don't care what you thought it was though. Like, this is what happens with art. We interpret art a bunch of different ways, and a bunch of people take it however they want to take it. And that's my favorite part. People can interpret things the way they want to. I used to take in English class, AP literature, all of that. You used to sit down and then everyone would have like a completely different like train of thought that they took when they read this literature. And it's the same for music. Like, you can have a completely different train of thought. And it was just like, it just seemed like he was trying so hard to sound smart in the way he was explaining it. And that didn't feel genuine at all. You didn't like this nigga because he was fronting. Like that's it.
Certified lover boy, certified pedophile. There's not too many different ways that anybody's going to think how we're going to look at that. Like, there's only one way. You hate this nigga and you want him to die. Like, there's nothing else. And you said that too.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, this nigga said that. Like, there's no other way to spin this. And like, for him to not come out and be like, bro, I have blood on my hands and I'm dirty, like, from this shit, is just crazy. And like, this is the kind of the main point we want to get into. That's
also what I want him to get into. Like, how do you feel after calling a nigga a pedophile?
Like, that's the real tea.
And then performing it over and over again.
But we can't have that conversation yet to the Super Bowl now. Yeah. Because he can't speak really. That's the thing. This whole interview to me
gave was too early, and it was just nonsense.
But this whole interview, what it gave to me was just, I'm trying to position myself with advertisers. So I'm not going to say anything crazy. I'm not going to do anything to kind of wake this up that it makes more people do a deep dive on it and kind of look into even more of his history, because he doesn't want that. So I just see that this was just such a PR fluff interview that it makes me ask this question, and we can get into this a little bit further, is when is Kendrick going to be held responsible for black media? Now that, especially that he's considered the number one guy, like, when is he going to be responsible the same way everybody kept saying, oh, Drake is fucked up for not sitting down with X, Y, and Z?
What do you mean responsible for black media? Because he sits down with people.
He hasn't sat down in a while with any black media besides the California people that he'll show love to, like Big Boy and all them. But no, when has he sat down with an Elliot? When has he sat down with Joe? Joe's been begging essentially for the interview since the beef started. Like, does he owe? I feel as though because of where he's at, he kind of owes hip hop at least one or two deep interviews before the Super Bowl at least. But
when I saw this interview, I thought that's what he was giving us, something in a more controlled environment.
But even then, Harper Bazaar is not black.
It's not black, and it's not hip hop. It's fashion. Like, it's a fashion magazine.
I wouldn't have been mad if it being out of the genre, if it at least could have been a black publication. No, I don't care. Make it a black publication. I'd rather fuck Complex. Complex is owned by white people. Like,
so what publication though?
I mean, it could have been any it could have been a podcast you would have went to, and they could have did
just give somebody
a transcript of your shit before the podcast come out. Just anybody, give somebody an opportunity. Could have been Taylor Rook. Shit, she does good interviews even though it's mostly sports. So I mean, anybody would have been better than Harper Bazaar. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, to me, where we have to at some point hold him responsible. Like we said, we talked about it with the BET Awards. They give you 12 awards and you can't even show up once. You can't do a video.
Showed up though.
But cool, but you're supposed to be the leader.
Like, nobody showed up to that shit because it was kind of like
you're still supposed to be the leader.
It was so less than as a production.
That's cool. Okay, cool. Send up a video, set up some cameras, give us a cool little 5-minute video, thanking the BET Awards, telling you love the people and the culture, something. But it's like, there's no onus on him the way it has been on Drake. And it's just, to me, it's just bizarre that we have all of these people who don't get any love from this guy. And the reason they show hate towards Drake was for the same reason that Kendrick does to them, which is snub them the entire time.
Yeah, let me see if Kendrick, like, what interviews has Kendrick done lately?
I mean,
because he really hasn't. Yeah, he's one of those niggas that kind of just like stays to himself completely.
I can't think of anything since the last project. Like, even when he went on tour, I can't think of any big interview that popped up. unless it may have been something overseas where it have been like a profile or something on him. But I can't imagine. I can't even think of anything that would resonate. That I could say, okay, that's the Kendrick interview.
The first thing that pops up is a GQ interview he did 8 years ago.
See, that's during the come up. That's not.
Yeah, he does not
Since
interview
being established
at all.
But then again, like I'm saying, it's a give and take relationship with the media when you do this. They're going to cover you when you do good shit, like have the concert that he did, the tour that he did. But in the same token, like you have to show some type of love. You have to extend some type of love. And all I'm seeing is him now is take. And this is everything you accuse Drake of being. Taking, and not giving up to anybody. Who we putting on? We gonna have Baby Keem? Like come on.
And whoever else is
I'm just saying,
employed with
TDE or TDE. So I mean,
and all of that production and all that stuff.
But it goes even deeper than that, because did you see Punch's tweet?
No, what did he tweet?
Okay, hold on, I got it right here. So he said, I respect hip hop journalism and feel it's needed in its truest form. It helps keep the culture alive, but there's only a few real ones left. Most of you guys are trash, just in my opinion. That's why the artists don't want to talk to you. That's bullshit. Even if it is.
Was Kendrick's criticism that he doesn't do black media, or was that
no the criticism?
The internet.
So the criticism stemmed from the fact that Drake, that used to be the talk point. Elliot came out a while ago. Remember he did the Bobby Altoff interview and he did the Barstool interview.
Yeah.
So it started coming out was, Drake's not doing black media. That became the narrative. That's what I feel like fueled the fire for the beef that happened later on.
I feel like the beef probably.
I'm talking about for the media. The media was able to put more fire on him because nobody was really supporting Drake.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. So they wasn't supporting him when the beef happened. They stopped supporting him in that moment. What I'm saying is Kendrick never did any of that. Y'all never held him to that standard either.
Yeah, because Kendrick is a shut-in. Like he's done like.
But that should be come with some type of you lose points for that.
You do lose points for that. Like Beyonce hasn't done an interview in mad long either. Like there's a lot of people that basically don't pop out. Beyonce, Jay-Z, there's a lot of people who basically never pop out and give us interviews. Drake pops out once in a while with a white publication to give us an interview. Kendrick pops out.
But he'll do his own live streams and stuff. Drake interacts with his people.
And Kendrick doesn't.
And that's what I'm saying.
He doesn't even post on his Instagram. Like on social media, he'll post something when he's dropping. Other than that, we get nothing.
It's like being in an abusive relationship.
No, but remember, I've said this on this podcast over and over and over again, that I want you niggas to be a little bit more mysterious, and I want to know less about you, and I want to know less of your opinions, and I want you to give me the art, and then I want you to shut the fuck up and go home.
No, and I respect that, but in the
and Kendrick
conversation,
does that.
But in the conversation I'm having here, I'm talking about media having a criticism on Drake.
Okay, I just don't want you to frame it around like Kendrick had that criticism, and
I said it the entire time.
Okay,
media was criticizing Drake. Yeah. And nobody is now holding Kendrick to that standard. Mm-hmm. And that's the problem I've been having just with the whole thing, because that's what Drake's whole point was in his battle. Was, nigga, you just me packaged differently. And nobody wants to wake that part up because
packaged differently because he's like actually in this shit.
No, you're just as much in this shit as I am.
No, like he grew up in it.
Drake, come on now. We can say he grew up in it, cool.
Where do you keep saying? Where did Drake in Memphis?
He was there for the summer.
He fucking went to his deadbeat daddy house once every 3 years to Memphis to be black a little bit. Like, come on.
Can't be deadbeat if there's a post in there. So can't be a deadbeat if it's a post in there.
Post?
A post, like a post.
Oh.
Nigga was trying. But no, what I'm saying is cool. He grew up into the culture, but you still, it's not just because I grew up in the culture, I can just take. I still have to give back to it. And he's not giving back to it in a real, it's supposed to be an ecosystem. Mm-hmm. You make music, you make events, you come and sit down, we talk to it, we make it a big production, and we continue that process. And now he's never really given that, but now he's definitely no longer giving that to black media. And I just want everybody to have the same criticism for everybody. We're going to be doing this, judging things accordingly. Shit on him the same way you shit on Drake.
I'm sure Kendrick is doing things for his culture and his community, but he historically has not been a nigga who's been loud about anything. He pops out, he drops his music, he leaves, and he has been doing so since
Let me clarify,
2007.
When I say community, I mean in the industry of black media in relation to their black stars. Because again, this isn't just a Kendrick problem. Historically, we've had issues with black artists in any genre, any type of art or entertainment industry, not wanting to give interviews, not wanting to give looks to black media. They'll just walk right past you on the red carpet. That's happened plenty of times. Where it's happened so often where we now highlight when the actors say, no, I want to talk to my people.
That reminds me of something. Laur Oach told this story in an interview that he did this year. I don't even know when it was. But he said that when he was dressing the black celebrities, your Tyler Perry's, your this and that's, the big houses were like, you don't work with anybody of like any actual stature. When he started working with like other white celebrities and stuff, then that's when he started getting the attention from like the bigger, more established couture houses. And then he said that he swore to himself that he would never work with these other celebrities, like the black celebrities again, so that he could be taken seriously. And then looking back, like in hindsight, like 10 years after now, he was like, what the fuck was I doing? Because he should have like stood 10 toes down and just been talented and worked with the people that he wanted to work with, and still worked with the people in the black community. Like it doesn't even matter when you think about him and who he works with. But I feel like a lot of people probably fall under that. Like they're trying to like fit the status quo and like look like they're serious. So when you want to look like you're serious, you want to do interviews with like a Vogue, a Harper's Bazaar, instead of sitting down with like a Drink Champs or something like that and getting shit faced. But it's extremely important. It's extremely important for you to sit down with the Joe Budden podcast, to sit down with the Drink Champs, to sit down with the Gillies and Wallows and stuff like that, because like you're feeding your culture. Like this is who you need to prioritize.
Yeah, like I said, I would love to just see him have a real like cutthroat, like really to the bones conversation about this, because like I said, this was a big moment in hip hop. So, and just like you said, just to get into his mind frame and his mindset and how these beats came about, like people are going to want to hear this.
I want to hear about him reaching out to other producers, how he got the beats. I want to hear him talk about how Not Like Us was received and how he took that. And then like
I don't want to hear it on your shit. Like I don't want to hear it where you control the narrative and everybody in the interviewers are all working for you. I want to hear it from somebody who's an unbiased, objective, journalist or party. And that's what I'm saying. Even Joe Budden shit, it's going to be a cool interview, but you know what Joe does? He does the vibe shit. Yeah. He may get into it a little bit, but if he sees that he's not trying to get into that, he's not going to try like to dig deep into that. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I just feel like as the consumers, the people who enjoyed it, we deserve that at least.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy that interview that much as someone who was like very heavily invested in this beef, but as somebody who is a SZA fan and a Kendrick fan, because it wasn't just a Kendrick interview. Like SZA was speaking a lot too, and she was giving her perspective, and it was them just back and forth. So it wasn't what I was expecting, but it was an interview.
Okay, so something I want to switch it up to a little bit into the sports side. So are you familiar with Deshaun Watson? He's the quarterback for the Cleveland Browns. He was also the quarterback for the Houston Texans, and he had like 20 cases of like sexual misconduct.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, freak boy. So recently he just got hurt. He tore his Achilles last Sunday. And the crowd was cheering for him while he was injured on the ground. Like
because he's a freaky nigga?
So it's layered. So he's been playing like trash, like hot garbage this year. Like almost like, bro, you should have never been given $231 million guaranteed.
Wow.
Like, you should have never been given that. Like, that's how bad he's been playing. It's been awful. But that's more so the reason why the people feel, I think, is why they feel like they're okay to cheer at his demise, because not only have you been playing like shit for us, but you also a freaky ass boy.
Yeah.
So I felt kind of weird because I seen a lot of grandstanding going on timeline. People saying like, oh, y'all are wrong for cheering him being hurt and stuff like that. But like, to the nigga who, I understand civil cases and stuff like that, you're not like admitting guilt when you settle, but like when you settle on 20 cases like that and you pay out, my nigga, you're like a little guilty. Like you did something wrong.
You're more than a little guilty.
Like you did something wrong, my nigga, for you to not even fight that shit.
You didn't want to, like, they have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt.
No, not with civil cases.
Okay, but like you didn't want it to go past that, right? So you settled in the civil case instead of taking it to actual criminal court.
Well, it was never going to be criminal court.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like the time frame, the fact there was lack of evidence and stuff like that.
Okay, I was.
You wasn't never going to take something like that to criminal court. You have to take it to civil court.
But there was no way you was going to win that
because there was so many women coming to the front about it. Like the thing is, like if you knew this nigga history, you knew he was a freaky ass nigga, because in his like it was like his rookie year, his second year, he was in a video online with Mila Khalifa. Like just chilling around in like the apartment type shit. And you know nigga got freaky with it. Like you could just tell the vibe was whenever either we already did it or it's about to happen in a couple moments. So you can already tell nigga was on the freak time. And it's funny because like when you think about it and you just like start to like let your brain go wild about it, you like, bro really just had an unsatiable sex habit that he needed to put women in a situation that they didn't know what was about to happen because he wanted to make like his own porno. Like, because that's what was happening. It was women who were giving him massages, massage therapists. And then he'd be like, oh, grab my dick. Or, you know what I'm saying? He would say, do some weird shit. Or maybe start stroking his shit, you know, while the girl was rubbing on his leg. Or, like, he would just do weird shit like that. It's like so many, like, they said he jacked off on, like, jerked off and came on some women. Like, shit like that. He was doing wild boy activity.
My question, though, not to victim blame ever at all. I would never want to do that. But how does a nigga jerk off on you to completion?
He might be quick with it. Like he might be able to get to it.
Like you gotta
like it could be the excitement of what's going on to him.
Like he has to be jerking off in secret and you not know, and then come on you, surprise, come.
Or
like,
it could be like her reaction being scared could just increase the arousal for him, and then it just, so as soon as you realize what's going on, now he's up. The ante is up. Like, I'm gone. It's about to splash out on shit.
There could be coercion in the situation, which you would not want to leave. And I get that. But, like, if it's a surprise situation, you can't surprise jerk off to completion on anybody.
You don't know how this nigga, you don't know his anatomy. You don't know his body.
Yeah, unless he comes.
He could. Like, I'm trying to tell you, it could be a sense of, like, he's doing it because he knows it's, you know, nefarious type shit. And in the moment you're like, oh my God, like, what are you doing? That's it for him. That is the moment. And now he's at completion. He climaxed. And now it's on you. Sorry. He's embarrassed. Here's some money. Like,
I saw
I
a nigga
apologize.
on Twitter that be jerking off in the Dollar Tree.
Well, I don't want to talk about that. I wanted to ask
That's all I'm saying. It's a thing in real life.
I wanted to ask you, do you think
I'd be afraid to go into Dollar Trees now. I don't know which state this man lives in. Okay, continue.
I'm gonna talk about some nigga jacking shit in the Dollar Tree. It's insane.
It's just Twitter is a lawless land.
What I'm asking you is, do you think that the fans were wrong for cheering for him while he's hurt like that?
No, they are drunk. They off one. They have the whole competitive energy in the air. You know, like, morality is not something that you're gonna immediately think of and be like, oh my God, my heart. Okay. No, this nigga is he's been playing garbage the whole time. He's been acting like a nasty ass nigga too. He shouldn't even gotten this money. We don't want him here. Half the people don't want him here. The other half wanted him here, and now he's being trash and we gave you the money. No. Get him the fuck out of here. Like,
but see, the reason why I feel like that is the only reason it's warranted, because if he was hurt and he was playing like garbage, but he didn't do the 20 bodies, like, I wouldn't feel like you would cheer for that.
No.
And I saw somebody, Nick Wright made a good point on his podcast where he said if he had touched kids, he wouldn't be on the team.
Not at all.
And if he had did the same shit with men, he wouldn't be on the team because it would be making it uncomfortable for the players on the team.
Yeah.
So, like, for the fact that he was even playing shows a bigger thing of what the NFL thinks of domestic violence and abuse towards women.
It was a slap in the face.
But then also in the same token, it's like is it good? I don't know. I'm the type of nigga to kick a nigga when he down is the best time. Like the best time to kick a nigga is when he's down.
He's already down.
That's the best time to do it. So
your foot doesn't have to do much work.
That's why I said when I saw that they were cheering for him, the only reason I'm like, okay, y'all fucked up is because the only reason y'all have a problem with it is because he was trash. Because if he was throwing 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, had the most yards in the league, y'all would be crying if it towards Achilles like that. Like y'all would be in y'all would be crying in y'all feelings about that. So that's why this thing is fucked up because y'all don't care about the women. Y'all just using it as a moment to get your football hate off for a nigga who, again, I don't give a fuck. I wouldn't give a fuck about him anyway. Nigga, it's all guaranteed. 231. No matter what, he don't got to play a goddamn down.
Whether you cheer or whether you're sobbing, this nigga got 231 in the bank.
So again, that little Achilles get fixed
after allegations.
Yeah.
And this nigga is God's favorite for real. He got 231 in the bank, and now he no longer has to put his body at risk if he doesn't have to play anymore.
Well, but his body's destroyed now. That fucking Achilles. Well, I mean, he can come back from Achilles, but
like what? An Achilles, nigga, go start.
That's no joke though. That's not fun.
Who needs an Achilles if you have 231 in the bank? Fuck my Achilles. Take both of them. Give me the 231. Like,
oh man. Well, should we wish him a healthy recovery?
No.
We should just have a black man down like that.
Somebody go get his other Achilles. Like for real. Like that's how I feel. You settled on 20 allegations.
Apparently, there's some more too that just came out recently. So,
like, what is happening?
The fucked up part 2 is, and we can finish up with this. The fucked up part 2 was like they came out when he had asked for a trade. Like right after he asked for a trade. So a lot of people were thinking like this was a connection of people within the city to smear his name because he was trying to lead the city. So because he ended up not.
That's a conspiracy.
I mean, he ended up sitting for a whole year and they didn't, they paid him the whole time and he didn't have to play. And then he went to the Browns, sat for part of his suspension, and then came back. They thought they was ready and he came laid an egg on them boys. That was robbery though. Congratulations are in order. Dre Michelle's baby father has signed a new contract. He did.
That's not what he's known as, and you're such a shady nigga for that.
I'm just saying, like that's his mama. So Jalen Green signed a contract. And I was a little off. I said this was gonna happen. I said this. Remember, I talked about this. I said he was gonna be due for a contract extension soon.
Yeah.
I was a little off on the numbers, but he signed for a 3-year, $106 million, $106 million contract. Mm-hmm. So I was in I said he was gonna sign for like the 240, 260 range. Apparently, he did something. And he was the first rookie to do this. He signed a 2-for-1 in regards to getting 2 years and a player option for his third year. So instead of doing the entire 5 years where he'll probably be like 28, 27 when he ends his contract, this particular contract gives him an option to be a free agent again at 25, where he can then sign another deal, probably a 5-year deal that time for whatever team he wants to be on, and be able to get the max contract then. And then now you're good to your 30. You don't have to worry about signing another contract to your 30. And then if he's healthy, that's almost a chance for another. By that time, shit, he'll probably be signing like a $400-500 million contract, maybe more than that.
Damn.
For that time frame, because it'll be somewhere north of $70 million by that time he signs that second deal. I mean that deal after this one. So I mean this boy.
Well, congratulations, Drea.
He is taking a risk though. I will say this though, he is taking a risk on it because he could definitely something happen, and now he missed out on that extra $100-something million. That now instead of getting it for 2 years, he gonna have to get it for over 5 or 6 years. So he is taking a chance, but he's always been somebody who has done that. But with Drea now, we got to get into her. This is where it comes down to. Did you see the messages that she was talking about supporting him with? I think
No.
y'all were gassing it because y'all tried to act like she act like she hit the lottery or something. She just said some really like cute little supportful shit. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
read it to me. I didn't see it.
always,
What did she say?
Hold on, I'm trying to see if I have it up here because they make everything so hard to find now.
Yeah.
But essentially, she was just like giving him a shout out for being like the resourceful kid that he's always been, or man that he's always been in regards to, you know, going the opposite way, not following
When
the
you
trends.
met him, he was a kid.
I mean, yeah. Following the opposite trends. And so that was pretty much the main thing she said.
Going against the status quo because you knocked up an old bitch, but that's not really against the status quo no more.
Honestly, I think he, to a degree, I think maybe she might have played a reason into why he signed this kind of contract. Because if something happens within that time frame, that 3-year time frame, you may be able to get yourself locked in to like a good child support number. So then when you sign in that other contract, now she either gotta go to court and change everything around, or you could maybe cut up a little bit more. You bring it up a little bit rather than what the courts would take it to, and then now overall you keep more of your money on the back end of it.
It depends on what state are they in.
Texas right now, but she could easily just move to LA and start trying to rob this nigga his shit.
Yeah.
So that's
LA
where,
lets you rob niggas.
yeah. So I mean, that's where I think that he's trying. If I'm him, I'm being smart with the contract as well, because going that out there like that, and then something happens, now my whole career, my whole life just moves a whole different way. You see like Lonzo Ball shit, like he's not going to get another big deal like he did when he signed for like that 4-year, $84 million. So it's really gets like scary after that next deal, especially the way he plays. So, but
how does he play?
He's very athletic. He's very jump bouncy. His athleticism is a big part of his game. Mm-hmm. So him getting hurt would take away from that. But I just think that we need to discuss this Dre's plan. It worked. I think it, at least in the long run, to say it did work.
Obviously.
$106 million.
Obviously it worked.
The long game is there.
That was not the argument here. It's nasty work.
It is, but she picked the right one. Like if anybody was to go after, that was just the smartest lick to go after. Because I think he is more impressionable than what many would led to believe. Like I said, he didn't go to college. So it's
the same reason why these older niggas be going after the 21-year-olds. They're more impressionable.
But
it's
at least there's
thing.
a biological precedent there. Like the younger, the fertile womb. Like there's at least that kind of biological precedent there. Y'all, it's not necessary. I mean, there has been studies that said that like old men produce like, kids that may not be up to par because they're seeming being older.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, that's still not as, I guess, viewed in the sciences of common people the same way, because they think most times if the woman is older, then the egg is old, and that's usually the problem. But I mean, I came out all right off some old jizz, I came out all right.
Arguable.
I just feel bad just thinking about this nigga gonna be, his kid's gonna be 20 years old. He'll have a 60-year-old baby mama. That's wild.
What the child?
Yeah, the child gonna be 20 years old, and Jalen gonna be in his 40s and with a 60-year-old baby mama. That's insane.
I don't know. I think he's hoping that she gonna die.
For 60?
I'm just talking shit, for real. I'm just talking shit.
Damn, my nigga.
60 is mad young in the scheme of things.
That's sick. All right, let's stay into the sports still with LeBron. So,
oh my God.
What?
3 sports topics in a row. Like, what the fuck? We are not a sports podcast.
Okay, well, we can get into your HBCU topic then.
Yes.
With the
like,
homecoming.
what? Why would we do 3 sports topics
Well, the sports didn't
in a
have
row?
nothing. I was just staying in sports because I was going to talk about LeBron and Big Meech and what he said.
What did LeBron say about Big Meech?
He was basically giving him a shout out for, doing his time and coming
Why
back
is
home.
LeBron shouting out Big Meech?
Do you not see? That's what I wanted to ask the question.
You are
about.
a family man. You are the picture of the upstanding black man. This man was ravaging the black community. You should not be shouting him out. Just let him get out of jail and shut the fuck up.
No, like I just think I see that as being so problematic, just because, as have I said here on numerous occasions, I believe LeBron James is one of the top 3 black men of all time historically.
Yep.
And for you to give credence to this other individual because you may have some type of reverence for him or whatever, and because I think
just because the Star Show was good.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure LeBron partied with him because they got caught like in the late 2000s, and so they was doing it big during LeBron's probably like rookie year when he was young and shit like that.
Oh, okay. How long was Big Meech in jail for?
BMF went to jail like the late 2000s.
Okay.
So LeBron and him, like I said, he probably knew bruh. He probably seen bruh out. He probably done partied around bruh.
Mm-hmm.
But to like, you just gotta
That's
kind of
wild.
You just kind of gotta think about in totality. Like, he is like the epitome of how we were able to take away and destroy that part of our community that could have been something that we used to empower us. Like I say with the gang shit all the time, like the gangs could have been supporting the labor unions, making sure niggas on the block was getting paid right, but instead they was filling up their own pockets, and he was the epitome of that. Like, if you watch the documentaries, the reason why his brother and them wanted to stop fucking with him was because he was partying and making too much noise and all that kind of shit. Like, and they didn't want to be a part of like being active like that. And you also got to take into consideration, bro, like, even if this man didn't shoot nobody, he was responsible for a market that created violence. And people did lose their lives because he was filling the block up with this product that they were now fighting and killing each other for.
Yeah.
So even if he never pulled the gun, even though there has been instances,
proxy.
he was, again, proxy for that. So that's why I just feel like LeBron was dead ass wrong for, in any kind of capacity,
Your
giving him a
image
shout out.
does not need to be near his image whatsoever.
And I don't want to hear that shit about, oh, he did his time, he a black man. Fuck that. This nigga is not Nelson Mandela. Like, this is not like,
No, not at all.
this nigga is not somebody who is like saving the black community. He was not putting the money that he was trapping and shit back in it. He may have did some shit here and there locally, and that was cool and cute, whatever. But that nigga was not formulating no plan. This nigga was not no fucking freedom fighter, bro. This nigga was a gangster.
What
and a
he was
fucking
doing
drug
in the
dealer.
long run did more damage to the black community than the little bit of good that he tried to
And
do
he
with
wasn't
the money that
caring
he
about
made.
no niggas. That nigga wasn't caring about no niggas when he was out, bro. He was caring about his own pockets, bro. That shit don't change. You seen the video with him and Lil Meech now?
No.
This nigga had some chick doing his fucking nails, you know what I'm saying, getting his little manicure and all that other shit. And then he got this fucking big ass BMF chain on. And I'm like, bro, nigga, you ain't learning shit. You ain't learning a damn thing, bro. Like, you coming out there still
I'm
repping
not
that
surprised.
BMF
What
shit?
did you think that he was gonna like? There's a whole show
Man, fuck
that
all
glorified.
that, bro. I'd have been like, man, fuck all that, bro. Get me out of here with all that, bro. I don't want nothing to do with any of that.
There's a whole show that glorified everything that he did. Like there's mad.
what
So
I'm
I think
saying.
I'm Big Meech. Like
That's what I'm saying. Again, I can understand you coming out trying to capitalize on all that shit, but in the same token, don't look at me and say that I gotta think that you did your time and you did, that's all it's old now. No, nigga, you changed people's lives, bro.
Yeah.
You changed the whole community. You changed the whole, like, the way that the gangster was presented from the 2000s on is an archetype from you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you was who Jeezy was copying.
a lot of people tried to emulate what you did.
Your image, and they put that on what became being a gangster. Like, again, Young Jeezy, I believe Fabulous was also associated with BMF. So again, y'all was pushing these musicians, all that stuff, but they was pushing y'all ideologies, things that y'all agreed with, and y'all was poisoning the fucking community. And I don't think that you need to get fucking praise for that.
Organized crime is always a double-edged sword, right? Because with the Italian mafia in New York and stuff, like, you could say that with unions and things, they did a lot of things to solidify the financial security of like a bunch of people with unions, but they also killed so many people and caused so much violence. And that's the same thing that Meech did. Like, you could say that he helped a lot of people in his direct black community, but then it was to the detriment of a bunch of other black people. So with organized crime, it's always a double-edged sword, and it's not the best route.
I mean, it's not the best route when there's like, at least like, even with Tukey, I wasn't mad when niggas tried to do that, because at least when they tried to start the Crips and all that shit, it was for community shit. And it just got perverted as time went on and money became the focus.
Yeah.
So like, but you came
Which
in
is
this shit.
unfortunate.
He came in this drug shit to make money and to only help himself. And for niggas to try to paint him as anything other than that is fucking ridiculous. That's my main thing. Like, if he come out and he's showing like he on some change, I'ma salute him. I'ma say big ups. But
he's not.
For you to say, as LeBron James, for you to say, you know, salute on him getting out or whatever, and he hasn't even done 1 ounce of any tangible like reform, like just to see that there's been reform, that's crazy to me. That's irresponsible to me in a big way.
I agree with you.
Because we get associated with this shit so easily. And anytime some bad shit happen, when these niggas do shit, then it's a black problem. But that don't never happen for the white people. White people shoot up schools. It ain't no white problem. It's just a problem for that. It's a mental health problem, but it ain't no white problem.
Speaking of black problems, y'all was showing ass at homecoming.
They've been doing that.
Y'all was showing ass cheeks at the homecoming, and y'all got the aunties up in arms on TikTok. So there's one specific one that I do want to play, because it made me feel so many things. Like, I agreed with her. It was such a visceral, violent reaction from me for like both sides of what she was talking about. But if y'all don't know, the HBCU homecomings were like last week recently, and the elders were not amused by how the young women were dressed. So we're about to play something that I think wraps it up real well.
It's sad when HBCU alumni go to their homecoming and then have to jump on this app and reprimand the students because it was so much ass out for homecoming. Like, this what y'all learning at the tune of $25,000 a year? Y'all didn't have to go to college to be looking like that. And I'm going to touch y'all hand when I say this. You're pretty from the front. There is a dehumanization that we do to ourselves as black women when we put all our stock, all our glory is in our ass when no one can see our face. You're not a horse. You're not a dog. You're not some animal. You're a woman. You're a woman. Dr. Du Bois coined the term the talented 10th. And it may have been classes or elitists, but those who go to, this is college.
Yeah.
It's a university. That's the number one place to level up. And like, beyond there's elders there. Beyond there's children there. Beyond there's connections made. Represent your college well. And I want to represent the best of my university, not the worst.
Okay, can I ask you a quick question before we get into this? When I said that last week,
About what?
Angel Reese,
Yeah.
I got pushback from you.
Yeah. You about to get pushback from me right now too. You don't know my opinion about what she said.
I mean, you said you agreed with her.
I said there were parts. I said that this conflicted me. I was conflicted by this.
All I'm saying is that's what I want WNBA leaders to do. What she did. So
I was conflicted by this because on one hand, like, I do believe in body positivity and everything of that nature. On the other hand, I feel like she is kind of like pushing a little bit of respectability politics. But when she said that you are pretty from the front, I was like, okay, yes, but why do you think that every woman who is like showing a little bit of ass, she don't think that she pretty from the front?
See, now you're taking something out of now you're convoluting something. To
No,
try to make
but
another
like,
point, though. You're not. No, you're
she don't think that she not pretty from the front.
She's saying your humanity and your beauty is shown through the front of you. The moment that you turn around, you are objecting yourself and you are presenting yourself.
Okay. Damn, I forgot what I was about to say next.
Because I ate. That's why.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say next. And then I was like, for a second I agreed with her, and then I was like, but this comes from the same generation as like Freaknik. Like, this isn't something new. Like, your generation was doing this at homecoming too. It's not a shock and it's not a surprise whatsoever. Y'all was showing ass in denim shorts, and now the girlies are showing ass in bubble skirts. Like, y'all just showing ass in different ways.
I got a question. If I'm a crackhead and I did crack for 15 years and I told you don't do crack, does that mean that the advice that I gave you is bullshit because I did crack for 15 years?
Because you know crack is a blast.
But but you get what I'm saying,
and
though.
you know that I know crack is a blast, so you sound like a hypocrite.
But don't say crack is a blast like that. Niggas gonna think we on some shit.
Nah, but I assume crack is a blast.
No, it's
niggas
addictive.
Wouldn't be doing it.
No, it's not. It's addictive. That's why they doing it.
I don't think you getting this argument off with me because I've been wanting to do crack for a little bit, but I just don't. I'm kidding.
You can't be a black woman with your hair natural and saying on a mic, I wanted to do crack. That's fucking nuts. Like, that's crazy as fuck.
I've never wanted to do crack, guys. I just be saying shit on the mic for real.
That's crazy.
No, but I think you should give me a
with
different.
a 4C.
I think you should give me a different example because I don't
I'm
like.
saying if I've done something over time and I know the effects of doing that, of course I should be the one to tell you that this maybe not be a good idea.
That's not how youth works.
I know that,
I
but
have to learn from my mistakes, not from your old ass telling me what
you-
your mistakes were.
But what your point was, you devalued her point by saying y'all was the generation that did X, Y, and Z and Freaknik. And what I'm telling you is the women who went through Freaknik and will tell you the shit that was uncomfortable, they felt unsafe, they felt abused, all this shit that happened, they're telling you, hey, you don't have to present yourself like that because those are sometimes the consequences of doing that.
The young girls are not going to listen because that's how young people are. That's what I'm saying. They have to learn from experience. They're not going to learn.
Well, that's two things. That's two different things, though.
They're not going to learn from you preaching to them on the internet and you making it a thing so that like a bunch of people can now think that it's okay to critique young people on the college campuses and making like outside of the culture, making videos about it. Now it's a whole thing on TikTok and now a bunch of people are talking about it because the older black women who did the same thing when they were young, it's so easy for you to forget that you were.
It's a forget though. It's not a forget.
I think it is.
I was a whore and I know
Why
I got
are you
back.
yelling?
Because I was trying to be dramatic. Damn, you just try
Like,
to mess
we
up
weren't
shit.
even on that.
I was a whore and I know what whore results are going to get you. So don't be a whore. Like that's why they're telling you that.
Okay, but like
just because you won't listen to it doesn't mean it should not be said.
it should be said still, but it's a waste. Because your mama told you not to do that and you did it and now you telling her not to do it and she gonna do it.
And again, but the point is you as the adult should still be the one telling them that, especially when you have experienced something similar. Like that's what I think you're convoluting two things. Of course, kids are not going to always listen 100%, but there are going to be kids that will. And that's why there needs to be adults who are speaking these truths. And for y'all to like every time someone criticizes y'all on the choices y'all make, go back to respectability politics.
Who is y'all? I'm not a kid.
You always bring it up. You always talk about respectability politics when we have these conversations about appearance and things like that. Y'all can't keep using that as a cope because at some point there's a responsibility and a consequence that comes with your actions, and you have to now live that. It's not always going to be I'm just kidding. I'm not saying it's abuse. Like people try to assume that, but no, it's being devalued. It's being looked at a certain way. It's being not offered up certain things. Or being looked like you can be considered for certain things because of the color of your skin. Like shit like that happens when you allow your culture and your people to be associated that widespread. I don't care if there's whores. There should be black whores because there's going to be niggas who want to purchase it. But being a black whore should not look more appealing than being a black girl who works in office. Like it just shouldn't.
I don't think it's more appealing. Like who thinks it's more appealing?
When a whole bunch of girls, when they say, why would I go work a job like that for 8 hours when I can go for 2 hours and make what you made?
But that's not the general consensus.
Yes, there's a lot of women who feel like that.
That is not the fucking
It's not
general
the general consensus, but there's a lot of women. It's a growing consensus. It's a growing sentiment.
It's not generally like most women are not choosing to be whores. That's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying that most women are. I'm saying that there's choices.
Okay.
There are women though who are like, I knew a girl who was a teacher and she put a mask on and was doing sex content because she was able to make more money doing the sex content than she was being a teacher. But
most of the time you're going to make more money doing the sex
that's
content than you are doing the job that you're doing. That is a whole different conversation.
But that's what I'm saying is when we're allowing those things to fester and create even bigger and bigger trend, we'll just get a more widespread trend, then you have those problematic things that come along with it. And then nobody can defend that because we already have these sentiments in regards to the line of work.
I don't think that there are more whores per se. I just think that they have a bigger platform. Okay. No, I just for me specifically, I was conflicted on this whole topic because there is a part of me that feels like, yes, you're on a college campus, you're around elders. There are definitely spaces where you should adhere to like a specific dress code or try to lean towards like a little bit more modest. But then there's a part of me also that wants everybody, like I want this idealistic world where women can dress how they want without being judged because they're dressed a specific way. And like, I want that to be true. So I don't want to lean towards like the morals and all of that, because I would rather the idealistic world be the world that we exist in. But it's not realistic. Like, you do have to be realistic, and that is kind of a delusion to think that you can dress however you want, whenever you want, and not be judged because of that. But I just wish that didn't happen. And that this topic specifically brought out that, like, the difference in my opinions between those two things. Like, women should be able to wear whatever the fuck they want whenever they want, but there are situations where you should take into consideration like what your surroundings are. And yeah, it's an interesting topic to me. So the I guess campaigning for the Grammys or whatever, or the Grammy nominations came out as of late, and Tyla and her team had submitted to compete in the R&B artist Grammy category, but the Grammys decided to put her in the pop artist nomination instead. Now that category is stacked with like Sabrina Carpenter, what's the lesbian? Chapel Roan, Charlie
Roman.
Charlie XCX, I think her name is, Taylor Swift. Like, that's stacked as fuck. And her team is a little mad that they put her in the pop genre instead of R&B. Arguably, though, Tyla is not R&B. She doesn't make R&B music. She doesn't make pop music.
Water was pop.
Water was
To me,
Water was pop.
Are you sure her team was upset about that? They said that her team.
Yeah.
Because that, to me, I get why they'd be upset. Because if you want her to go to R&B, it's because you want her to win something.
Yeah, but she's already won a Grammy for like
every year
African artists.
But every year you want to win something. So that's what I'm saying. That's why they put you in the R&B, because they know it's the same thing they did with the Tommy Richmond nigga. They put him in the hip hop category, even though he just came out earlier and said he wasn't hip hop.
Yes, which wasn't smart on his end, because you didn't need to say that. We all know you're not hip hop, motherfucker.
Well, see, that's the thing. Well, we never talked about that, but we can touch on it a little bit, because I never heard my point about it being expressed. Two things can be true. He could have said that because he knew his team was going to put him in the hip hop category, and he didn't like that. Mm-hmm. When they nominate you, he don't own his music. Like, I know that they'll try to act like he does.
No, people campaign for you for Grammys.
But I'm saying not even that. Even if you put the music up there, he don't make that call. There's somebody else in his team that makes that call to send it to the Grammys. They're going to put it in there to nominate you whatever they can win. So there could easily have been a conversation to say, hey, these are the things we nominated you for. He sees it, says, oh, I'm not hip hop. Does a interview where he maybe asked that question to be brought up so that he can say that.
I thought he just tweeted it.
I thought he was in an interview when he said that.
Okay.
He
I'll look it up while you talk. Yeah.
But regardless, I'm announcing that, and I'm making this statement because I know the bullshit is about to happen, and I'm trying to make sure my stance is on there. With the thing with Tyla, I feel like that's good for her team, because I mean, that's her team should be looking at it as a positive, because being set up amongst them, especially as a black artist or an artist of color, is a big deal. Mm-hmm. Like, they don't just put artists of color in the pop section like that unless you are sold out to the string. Like, everything about you is sold. Every last dime of your publishing is signed to some other white man. It's usually when they'll throw a colored person in pop. Real shit. Usually pop is code for the white, R&B is code for black.
Yes.
So, and even though she's colored, but I'm just saying she would fall more into that R&B, and that's why they felt like she could win that.
Okay, so now I want to get into the conversation of, there are some black artists in the R&B genre that lean more, a little bit, like you could lean them more towards pop, but they have never been considered for that, like SZA.
Yeah.
So why do you think that, like, immediately off bat, Tyla was able to be put in the pop genre instead of R&B, when genuinely I don't think she makes either? Like, I don't think she makes pop music, and I don't think she makes R&B. And I know you didn't listen to the album, but the album is not a R&B album, and it's not a pop album. That is a African Amapiano fucking album. Bro, like, you need to have a completely different sector of, if you are going to, because African music, international music in general, is becoming more popular. Pop cannot just be the popular music. There needs to be a different thing that defines pop music, because a bunch of other art, different genres are becoming more popular. And if it's just the music, if pop music is just the most popular music, then it's gonna be different sounds, right? If that's the case, then 100% put Tyla in pop, because she's super popular. And if pop is just what everyone's listening to, then yeah. But I do think that all of these award shows need to do a better job at having awards for different types of music that fall outside of the American genres of music. And they need to be regular, like, awards that are showed on air.
Well, to answer your question, why do I feel like she was able to jump to the pop sector? I think that has qualities and features that are regularly or generally identified with being fetishized by white people. I think she's more able to be consumed by them a lot easier than maybe like a Tim's or someone like that may be from over there, because of, even though she does have
and Tim's album was amazing, on par with Tyla's. Even
though she has a brown hue to her, she is very small. She's tiny. She speaks almost like an Indian girl. Like, she comes off with qualities that white people would generally associate with the model minority type shit.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's easier for her. And I think she's also has contracts up to her eyeballs as well. I think she's probably sold all of her publishing and everything the same as a lot of artists did back in the day. And that's why they have no problem pushing her that way. I think that when you put resistance up, when you don't give 100% access to the labels and people in charge, then they're less likely to give you these kind of looks. And I think she's one of those artists now. We're seeing that actually a lot with the female artists, because I think a lot of women are, again, and Melissa Ford talked about this on the Joe Budden podcast about not being able to negotiate. I think we're seeing that more in real time, with women having those issues to negotiate. And that's why women are becoming more popular in media and in advertising than we had in the past. It used to be women were too expensive when we can get men to sign the shit deals that women were signing.
And now women are signing the shit deals.
Now men are in some regard resisting starting their own things to then sell, and the women are still following similar old model traditions, because
women are signing the shit deals.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying.
Women are signing the shit deals.
But I'm not trying to make it sound like it's exclusively just women.
Like,
because I just said Tommy Richmond is probably in a shit deal.
Yeah, probably.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not just, it's artists who are more likely to break, and people can see a lot more potential into. So they're more likely to have a more, strict contract and all that other shit. Somebody who ain't no real know if he gonna win, you might just give him a little fly by night deal where you don't really lose nothing, but if he goes, then you gain a lot. So that's what I'm saying. I just think that's why she was able to do that. She is more palatable for white people in the long run.
I think Tyla is extremely palatable for white people. I'm obsessed. Like, I cannot stop looking at the girl. Like, every time I see her pop up, like, I have to watch her. Like, the tiny waist. Like, she dances well. She sings fairly well. Like, she definitely has more vocal training. Like, when she gets more experience, she's gonna be way more of a powerhouse vocally. But I think her whole aesthetic, like, I love it, and I like watching her. So yeah, she looks like a doll with a tiny waist. Like, it's absolutely insane.
So do we have R&B right now? We have to figure this out.
R&B?
Yeah. Does this consider as R&B? So John Gaines just keeps bothering our TikTok page. We said we was lit on TikTok, but we had a video, and this is what I don't understand. So we had a video. You called him bisexual. Went
was wrong.
Went viral. Hold on. Let me just explain this. We had the video. You called him bisexual. We did another episode. You said he wasn't, and then this nigga keep coming back to our page, pissed off and hating.
And I didn't even say that he was bisexual in a disparaging manner. I said that he was bisexual, very excited about it, and I thought it was very hot that he might be.
So
turns out that he's not. Boo.
Did he delete both of the messages?
He didn't delete both of them. He deleted the second comment that he posted weeks after it went viral.
So just to kind of set the stage, he said a message in there because everybody was like adding him into the post or whatever. He said he wasn't bisexual, whatever. That's cool.
Yeah, he was like, this is fake.
Our shit goes crazy. It gets close to 500,000. So we pin the tweet.
Yeah, because that's what you do with TikToks that are going viral. You pin them on your shit.
So then this lame ass nigga gonna come back to the tweet because somebody else didn't add it to him and try to call us lame because we pinned a tweet talking about, oh, this the best content they got. Pussy nigga, no, we got 700K, not off your bitch ass. And then you got the nerve to do a video with Tank, looking like the bisexual man she claimed you to be. My nigga, don't come to our page anymore with that bullshit until you get your bitch back. Respectfully, okay? She in there with a crusty ass UK black nigga with the name of Stormzy.
Don't call that
dusty ass nigga take your bitch. All them muscles you got, all that country ass shit you bull wrestling with Tank in the gym like some old freaky ass niggas, and I'm talking about maggot. You act out looking like that, and then you over here trying to come to us on our page, nigga. Do something with your day. Get your bitch back. Like, don't be coming over here talking about what kind of situation we got going on over here, big dog. All right, nobody care about them little weak ass muscles. Ain't nobody care about, because clearly your bitch didn't. She left you with them weak ass muscles. We ain't worried about none of that shit, nigga. Like, really, like, back up, nigga. You really corny and you really lame. That's why your bitch left you, dog. She with a nigga named Stormzy. What kind of shit is that?
She probably not even name. With that nigga. She just getting
tongued down in broad daylight, nigga. She don't give a fuck about you or your feelings. Go keep holding that kid, bitch, nigga.
She getting dicked down by a big African man in the UK while you at home taking care of your child, because that's your bread and butter. That's what we know you for. You her baby daddy. So now you gotta make content exploiting your child and fucking taking your shirt off with fucking Tank in the gym, just homoerotic as a motherfucker.
You never beaten allegations.
You never beaten them allegations, my nigga. Like, at all. And then I just think it's like, it was literally weeks. We posted that shit. Let me see.
That shit been on your mind for too long.
Yeah. Like, I don't think that you are aware of how petty and like how much of like dickheads we are, because we posted that video 7/24. Okay. That was 3 months ago. And then you commented on that video 2 weeks ago, like, oh, y'all still didn't take this down? Oh, you still thinking about this? Of course we didn't take it down. We're not going to take it down. Like, probably at this point, we're not going to take it down. But and he was like, oh, y'all don't have other content? Yes, we do. We already have surpassed the clip that we posted of you 3 months ago. Like, we've already surpassed that. I've talked shit about some other shit that doesn't even have to do with you or Victoria, and we've already surpassed that. So we're going to keep that clipped, and then when your irrelevant ass is irrelevant enough for us to take it down, we're going to take it down, and then you're going to be mad that we did, because nobody's thinking about you anymore, because all you did was come in a famous woman. You came into a talented, you got lucky that the sperm penetrated that specific egg. That's all you did. Period.
Hey, goofy ass nigga, try to get your bitch back, all right? How about that? All right, space updates. Let's get to it.
Oh my God.
I was really conflicted about this one because I got clips of what happened.
We don't need to play the clips.
And I listened back. Let me tell my story to make me sound good, okay?
Okay. I thought you were gonna play them. I was about to be like, please don't.
No, let me grandstand a little bit. Everybody else gets to do it on their platforms. Let me do it.
Okay.
So I sat there and listened, and generally on the space updates, we do try to kind of tend to lead it to more celebrities. So a lot of this shit happened amongst us common folk. And I was just sitting here like, this is some really good shit to play back. But I know all these women are embarrassed by this. And there was some other personal stuff going on with some people that was involved. So I felt like if I were going to bring it up and be chatty patties about it, I'm not going to double down and put like salt in the wound and play y'all audio so y'all can listen back to yourself acting ridiculous. But nonetheless, let's get into it. So when I posted our last space update, literally this other event just like transpired around the same time. So this is about a week or two old. Well, no, just a week old. So we're going here and these two girls are going back and forth. And essentially the argument goes around having conversations about gentlemen in the back channels, in the DMs. Safe to say space niggas are up big time. All right. Space niggas in the DMs going crazy. And to me, what it seemed like it was just women like sharing notes. You know what I mean? And I feel like the two women involved in this particular situation shared notes, but like saw it for two different reasons. Like one girl thought she was sharing, the other girl was sharing notes with her because she was hating on the fact that Buddy was showing her like some flavor, like some time, you know, some motion. And the other girl felt like you was only getting close to me so that we can share notes about this individual. And that's kind of where the two heads butt. And it was so much name calling. It was so much like just issues going on. And it kept happening all day. It was a bunch of women just going back at it. And it's a few things that I wanted to ask you, being a woman and being a woman that's not in the spaces, thank God. Like, where does this feminine beef just arrive from? Is it always just the hunt for Negroes?
It's just how women are. It's just we naturally have like a competitive spirit between us sometimes, especially when it comes to men. Okay. Y'all arguing on the internet over a nigga. That's the basis of this whole shit, right? That's fucking crazy. Regardless.
He's a legit nigga though.
Fuck that. Y'all like basically on the internet yelling at each other over a nigga who's sitting back. This nigga was sitting back, rubbing his feet together, laughing. Ha 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 ha.
How do you know he wasn't embarrassed?
No, this nigga was laughing. He recorded that space. He played that for his friends that never get in the spaces. Look at these two women barking. Ah! Bitch, you. Ah! Look at these two women. This dick is so good that it has these two grown ass educated women who know how to express themselves, showing they whole black ass booty holes on the goddamn spaces. Like, that is crazy. If you could ever argue with a nigga about me, you're never hearing from me. I'm not arguing back and forth with you over who this nigga favorite is. At all. If I have to argue with you, I'm married. If I even have to say anything to you about this nigga, you're not hearing from me. So past that, I just feel like y'all are a little bit crazy for that. And then y'all went on for so long. Were y'all both intoxicated? I was like, ain't no way both these bitches not drunk.
It was early in the morning. It was like 9-10 o'clock in the morning when this happened.
Oh my God. Like, when I was listening to this, I was like, this happened at like 10 p.m. They both off like at least 3-4 glasses of wine each.
No, this was a shot of cappuccino.
Y'all had this visceral, like, animosity for each other at 9 a.m. And this is why the spaces are toxic in general, because it's not normal for you to be having that type of like back and forth with somebody you don't actually know for real in real life. Do they know each other in real life?
I don't believe so.
Oh my God.
Just space acquaintances.
This is why I'm glad I'm not in y'all spaces and I get to like critique and give y'all constructive criticism from outside, because that is wild to me that you are on your phone 9 a.m. You didn't even fucking have breakfast yet. Bitch. What? Why would you ever let another person get you outside of your being that much? That is wild. I feel like it's lame for both of y'all to get that upset. But maybe it's because I have an avoidant attachment style. I'm gonna bang it on you before I ever. If I'm sober.
But the crazy thing is, it didn't stop there though. More women started to get into it. So apparently there was a space the night before where two of the girls got into it, and it got woken up that she had like confided information in another girl that was in the space that was at odds as well. Kind of like the enemy of my enemy is my friend type shit.
That is not.
And so that ended up blowing up into like another space that we had where I was in there with Doug.
Please, y'all.
And when I'm trying to tell you, these girls was going at it about that. Like, she was like, oh yeah, because she got mad and she started exposing shit. She was like, oh, so yeah, all that shit that you said about such and such being ugly and such being too good to be with dating her.
Is why.
Like, she was going so crazy. Like, I'm talking about exposing it to the point where the girl was like, I didn't say that to folks' faces. I didn't say that to two people. No, peep this. She's like, I said that to folks' faces. I said that all about. They know what I said about the person's in. One of the people's in the room. No, you did it. He said, and we need to talk about that later. Like that's how crazy it got. Yeah. It got insane in there to the point where another thing that I've learned about the women.
That is so crazy.
No, but another thing I learned about women is like, I guess now this new modern women, instead of saying suck my dick, they saying you wanted to eat my pussy. Like
that's not crazy.
No, is that women suck my dick?
That is. I just feel like.
Or are all you women eating pussy? Because that's what I need to know.
As I don't know where these women are from, but like I'm still telling you to suck my dick. Suck my dick. Like there's no like the. Do you hear the way that bounces? Eat my pussy.
Well, let me tell you how the exchange
my pussy rolls off the tongue. Wait to suck my fucking dick. Like well, that just sounds better. I'm never gonna stop saying that.
This is how the exchange went though. The girl called her a piggy, like you a little Miss Piggy. Mm-hmm. The girl was like, little Miss Piggy, you wanted to eat my pussy. The girl said, yeah, I didn't say you was ugly.
Like she was like, yeah, bitch, I eat pussy.
But like, why did this happen?
I like that. Yeah, I like bitches.
But
like,
this happened in two different spaces amongst two different girls, where the comeback was, you wanted to eat my pussy. Like, is that normal female behavior to talk like that?
Wait, if she wanted to eat your pussy,
but I'm talking about these are two different women having two separate arguments talking about eating snatch.
No, but in these two different women's arguments, did the receiver actually want to eat said pussy? Because if it's true in both cases, yeah, I'm gonna get that off. Like,
I believe so. I mean, there wasn't.
I'm gonna get that off.
No one said no. This wasn't the case
because that's a position of superiority. If I ever was arguing with,
let me ask you a question, man.
With a bitch that wanted to eat my, you wanted to have your face in this, and I didn't let you.
Let me ask you a question now, because this is what it feels like. Is like licking the slug part of like getting into the code of women? Like, is that what you kind of have? Is that why y'all so close knitched and say all of y'all are beautiful because y'all got to lick the slug to be in the code of women?
Pussy in my
I'm just asking a question because this is what it feels like.
But
you're not a girl's girl either.
That's what I was about to say. I want to be a girl's girl now. It's just hard because I'm an adult and I can't, like, the only women I meet are at work. But like I used to not be a girl's girl, so I don't know what the girls was doing for real. Maybe I was eating each other's pussies. I don't know.
Is that what it means to be a girl's girl? Do you have to have licked the box?
I kissed a girl.
Did you like it?
It was fine. I'm still friends with her to this day.
How I think that may be the early part. Like that's how they get you in first. Is you kiss the girl, you do Katy Perry.
I didn't make out with her. It was a peck.
Now that's how it starts. It starts with the Katy Perry, and the next thing they know, my neck, my back, my pussy, and my crack. That's how it starts. That's how it goes. See, that's what, men. That's what they've been doing back in the day during the Salem witch trials. when they was out there in the woods doing magic, they was eating each other's pussy. That's
Oh my
exactly what was
God.
going on.
Do you know what I learned? I don't know if this is true, but during the Salem witch trials, like during the whole bubonic plague, everything, like that was the same.
Keep going.
That was the same time.
I mean, that may have been. I don't know if it's the bubonic plague. I feel like the
But
bubonic plague was before colonialism, but
during it might have been, but during like
they had sicknesses though.
there were sicknesses going around, right? That were being carried by rats and mice and shit like that. And women usually had cats who would fuck up the mice. This is a random ass TikTok that I saw. So then the women who had the cats didn't get sick as much and they didn't die, and they were seen as witches when they just had cats. And then I forget who else it was, but it was like a specific like religious group who washed up a couple times a day, which prevented them from getting sick. And everyone thought that, oh, this was Islam.
Oh yeah. Islam has always been super clean.
Yes, so their rituals were to wash up a couple times a day, and they didn't get sick. So then that religion also was demonized because they thought that Christians thought that the Islamic people were cursing them with all these sicknesses and stuff when they was just washing their hands.
Just washing their ass.
They was just washing their asses.
Nasty Neanderthals. Y'all are some sick motherfuckers. That's really what they are. But no, it's just wild to me to just see what y'all out here
Yes.
doing.
Okay. Yeah. If you actually wanted to eat my pussy and then I didn't let you and now we ops, I'm bringing that up every single chance I get. Every single chance. Bitch, you want to eat this box? Like, don't let me get that off. Like, please don't let me get that off. I'm gonna get that off every single time. Creatively too. You don't need to sit on your face.
You see what happens when you give them suffrage and bank accounts? You just start out here talking about
I hate this nigga.
eating pussy in the fucking spaces, so young. What fucking times are we in, my nigga? Like, it's some sick shit, young. It's some sick ass shit.
I really, again, every time we talk about the spaces, I don't know how y'all do that shit. You just be talking to people, just yelling on your phone to people you don't. That's wild.
They good people in the spaces, man. Shout out to the spaces, though, man. Hey, Joe, stop bringing me up. Hold on, Joe, stop bringing me up, dog.
That shit is wild.
If you're not gonna give me my own segment on the show, on the podcast, and like really break down some shit, like why
It's a mental
you just keep
game.
saying my name is like
He's
it's
trying
weird.
to steal you from me.
Oh shit, no. You can go call John for that. John Gaines for that. If you want to bisexual.
No, like I really feel like Joe might have a burner that he's watching your shit from, and he might think that you're just like a very dynamic host, and he might be like, since he has the rotating thing going on, I feel like he's trying to steal you from me.
I just want to because see, people try to say in the comments when we talk about, oh, y'all talk about Joe all the time, and now you trigger but he's not talking about, he's just saying my name. Like that's why it's weird to me. Where it's like, why am I like a name that you call J. Cole?
Like he just brings you up in like random things. Like you're in the back of his mind all the time. Like you stay. That's why I posted that shit on our Instagram, because you do stay in Joseph's mind rent free. That's his first name, right? Mm-hmm. I'm calling him Joseph from now on since he insists on calling you Fred. You stay in Joseph's mind rent free.
I think, you know what I think it stems from though? It stems from a clip not a clip, but a time when we was in spaces together and he tried to say absurd and talk FNF for two different people and they were at odds for Danny. And I was like, I'm the same person. And everybody
you made him
laughing.
feel stupid.
And I think that's why he's still upset about it. Like, I think that's why, because the next time he came into space, he was like, where's Fred? I'm like, why are you like, what about me strikes you to feel like you have to bring up me in conversation? Like, I feel like we're supposed to be the little podcast that no one's watching, remember? That's what you told with this little 7-view podcast. So, but hey, appreciate it. Keep hit the like button.
I know you wanted them 7 views, Joseph.
Just make sure you hit the like button, country ad nigga. All right, so we can go. She didn't want to talk about politics today.
I didn't.
She's been drained from it, even though you don't have any elective responsibilities. You have no.
Stop telling the people that.
You've told them that.
Okay, well, stop confirming it.
I'm just saying you told them already.
I be lying on here. They know that. I just be on here telling flagrant lies.
And I've just repeated your lie then.
Okay.
It's crazy how you'll just say something. And it's funny because the only reason you brought it up was because you got something wrong that we were talking about.
What?
We were talking about the primaries and you didn't know the format with the primaries. So to save yourself, you were like, oh, here we go, such and such. Now it's like, oh, don't bring it up. Just say fickle. Women are so fickle, yo. Women are so fickle. Well, we can wrap everything up if you don't got anything else we want to get into.
There's nothing else.
I mean, there is things we could get into, but my little, you see her, she been tearing up during the show. She's so tired. Her so tired.
I can't fucking breathe.
Hello.
And then because of the fact that I can't breathe, my eyes keep watering because I can't fucking breathe. Like all of it, the nasal and the tear ducts, everything is connected. Yeah. I'm wildly uncomfortable. It feels like there's a boulder in the middle of my face.
Let's get the poor baby out of here. So remember, life is a labor of love. So let's keep building these moments together. And remember, your job is not your family. And the only thing you should be exploiting is these corporations. Baby, tell them what they got to do.
Follow us on all of the social media at talk.fnftv, on TikTok especially, because that's our shit for real. On Facebook, Instagram. Leave a like, comment. Let us know if you agree with us, disagree with us. Let us know if you like, fuck their opinions. Let us know. And we appreciate you very much. Okay, love you. Bye.